Hello, Moral, and welcome to Speaking of Everything. Well, I don't normally start the show smiling, right? But I'm smiling because I have a very, very interesting guest, decked out in all red for this season. my guest is Miss Maria Shimon. How are you doing?
Greetings. Oh, well, I'm doing fine, thank you.
They call you Christmas.
Yes, they do. Simpson Ben Colby. I'm known by Christmas.
And that's special.
And that is special. My birthday. So, those that know me very well from the time I was born, they would say Christmas.
Yeah, great.
And I still have them that would ask me, can I still call you Christmas? And I'll be, but yeah, that's what you know me by.
Even all year round they can call you
all
Christmas.
Year round they would call, that's my nickname.
That's great.
So
great.
I'm very proud about it.
I think I remember, if I'm not mistaken, in a previous interview, asking you how it was having to make birthday on Christmas in terms of the gifts, because it's like everything is the same day.
Well, from a child, I grew up not really having gifts.
Uh-huh.
But we did celebrate Christmas, happy times, tart, puddings, and cake. The pound cake back in the day, the tart. The pudding was made in a big iron pot my grandmother had. She would bake the pudding and that, fire underneath and fire on top. And to me, that was the best tasting pudding ever.
Oh, those were great puddings.
So we never worried about gifts. We didn't know anything about gifts. It was not a commercial. Christmas was not a commercial thing back then.
That's what I want you to explain, because people hearing this and will say, well, what? No gifts? Culturally, for us, it was different.
It was not about a gift. It was about serenading. Serenading for us was very important because we would stay up at night waiting for the serenaders to come. And my grandmother always had a guava berry. They always had a tart and a pudding. So when these men outside playing the guitars and singing and caroling, Granny would throw back the window and sit in the window, and we'd be peeping through the window and looking at them and listening to them caroling. And then Granny would say, okay, there's the guava berry, and cut the tart and the pudding and give them. Sometimes they would eat, or they would go along, carry it along with them. But those were the days that KB was very dark. So imagine people coming to carol, walking in the dark, to us to come to a house that was lit with a lamp, because we had no electricity at a given time, and enjoy the atmosphere. It was like the angels were singing, back in the day. So I grew up with the caroling time. So now that I'm hearing about the caroling once again, the serenading, I'm very happy to hear that something of our culture from back then is back into our future now.
As a little boy, I used to go serenading too. And I had my little ukulele. And we would go by all the different neighbors, and even by the Catholic church or the rectory, and we was singing, I'm playing my little ukulele. That was a long time ago. And I can't recall now seeing anyone doing that.
Exactly. I did caroling as well as a young girl, but also not too long ago with the Nurses Association, St. Martin Nurses Association, a group of us would visit our retired nurses and carol and serenade with them at their homes. Now, those that were doing that, we are a little bit more advanced in age. So, we got a problem with getting around. And so, therefore, we kind of lay back on it. So, we are very happy that now some young folks have picked it up and started to serenade once more in the different districts. That's enjoyable. I think it's really nice.
I think what was also unique for me as a boy growing up and going around with my ukulele serenading for Christmas time is that we knew everyone knew us.
There you go, that's right.
There was no stranger in St. Martin. Today now, it's different.
Very different, because again, Christmas has become so commercialized that people forgetting that the true meaning of Christmas. And the true meaning of Christmas is about sharing, it's about caring, and remembering actually why Christ came, why he was born. And that is the true meaning of Christmas. And we need to love more, care more, and share more. So, for me, it's not about gifts, as I mentioned, but big gifts. But if you can share food, if you can share a goodie with a person that they can eat something, they can drink something that they wouldn't probably do every day or get the opportunity to do every day, but in the season of Christmas and the feeling of Christmas, because it's in the atmosphere that you do this, when you receive, the person that is on the receiving end, it feels different, it feels good. You feel appreciated also, that people think of you, especially during this time of giving and sharing.
And I think you put it very beautifully, because we're so wrapped up in this whole commercial rat race right now that we don't have time sometimes to stop and really look at things from the way you just described. And just a little simple for the little gift means a lot to some people.
Definitely. I was speaking to a lady here the other day, and she was telling me, sometime, Maria, I don't have food to eat. And this is a senior. And I am very concerned about our seniors in this society right now, because our seniors are not really appreciated the way that they should. And we need to remember through this all, I'm a senior as well, but the younger generation need to remember that they are who they are and where they are because of the seniors that were before them. They made a way, they paved a way that the younger generation can move on. And we expect to be more respected in this society. And it's not given to us. And for the coming new year, I would really like to see some changes in relate to our seniors. And me being a senior, I'm looking forward to certain things where we can feel respected.
Yeah.
And
it's a difficult at times. In case you just joined us, speaking about Oral Gibbs here on YouTube, Facebook, and Hot 99.9 FM radio, my guest is Miss Maria Shimon. Miss Shimon is a retired registered nurse, and she is an amazing lady, always bringing positivity to us. And we've been having her on the show here for many, many years. It's amazing because people look forward to you at least once a year.
At least once a year. Yeah. I tried my best last year, Christmas. I was in Panama. I spent 2 months in Panama with a friend, relative, and it was different there. It was, they celebrated the Noche Buena, and I was there, and it was my very first experience of Noche Buena at the hotel. It was awesome. It was awesome. And to me, Christmas Day is not really celebrated. Everybody probably tired from Noche Buena and they're sleeping.
Yeah.
So the 25th itself is not really what they celebrate, but the 24th, actually the Noche Buena, and a lot of good food. A lot of good food. But of course, St. Martin has the best cuisine, though. I'm dare to say that.
Really?
Oh, yes. We have the best cuisine on this island. Honestly speaking. But it was good otherwise. It was really good.
I mean, we have a combination of so many different foods.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's why our cuisine on St. Martin, we are different than the rest of the Caribbean islands. I lived in Curacao as well. I celebrated Christmas in Aruba and all of that, but St. Martin have a different flavor. It's a different flavor.
Yeah, and it's changing too because we have all these different people coming in, and now it's like a real fusion, a melting pot of
yes, it is.
things.
Yeah, a potpourri. That's what it is. However, we as St. Martin people, even though we might be in a minority, we can do great things. Because the thing is, with our people, we always adjusting to other people's culture, other people's behavior, good or bad. We are adjusting to that. But we need and we should maintain who we are. We are a gifted people here. We are resilient people, and we are a loving people. And that is something that we need to maintain. We need to cherish that. We need to actually, have people come here and adapt to us and not the other way around. So even for Christmas, let people adapt to our cultural way that we celebrate Christmas.
And I think sometimes we're living and we're working here, but we don't know each other. I recall a few years ago, I was invited over to a house of a family from the Middle East, and had lunch with them, and it was so unique. It was a real good, unique experience because they were showing me the type of foods that they cook
Wonderful.
on a given day. And I think we need to do that more on this island.
We need to do it more, and the opportunity to do these things and to express our cultural cuisine and the way we do things, our dances, whatever, the cultural part of St. Martin's Day. There was this lady from the French side that passed away a couple of years ago from St. Louis that had a Christmas frock, and she used to do the baking of the stuff outside the Three Fire Rocks and stuff like that. I forgot her name. She had a nickname. And this lady was working hard on bringing back our culture, to St. Martin on both sides of the island. And it was something that I admired. When she passed, it really did hit me really hard to know that, hey, part of our culture has gone with this lady. And I'm looking forward to people trying to bring it back. I myself, we did plan with the business and professional women of Concordia to have that cultural activity at the Fleming's property by Jabash, place where he has there where the agriculture is. But unfortunately, the rain came and everything was flooded, so we could not have kept that what we had in mind. However, for the new coming year, God's willing, we are looking forward to having that, where people can come sit around the fireplace and, put on your frock, and talk about the years gone by, our culture, give information, especially to our younger generation. So that will be happening in the coming year, God's willing.
I like how you said, put on your frock.
Put on your frock. Because, I can remember seeing my grandmother sitting under the pomfret tree, and she used to cook on the Three Fire Rocks with this big pot. And how they would sit, they have on this apron, and then they would sit, we would say, we just sit down ladies like with our legs closed and that kind of thing, and our feet, our 2 legs crossed. But in those days, the women, if you check, the ladies never used to sit like that. They would sit down with a frock, and they would throw the frock between the legs.
You're making me laugh,
Right? And the hair tight, and they're there with the apron, and they with a stick, and they pushing and choking the coals under the firewood and fixing the wood, etc. While they're talking and telling us, the children and grandchildren, the stories of the past. A lot of our people even doesn't know where they come from. They don't know who their family members are in this small society. And I'm talking about St. Martin people. They don't know. You ask those kids who they belong to, and they can't tell you. Maybe just their father, their mother, probably, but nothing else. We were taught where the generation came back from Anguilla back to St. Martin, or from St. Kitts back to St. Martin. We had that, and it was interesting. But then again, I'm talking here about the days when people appreciated moonlight. I'm talking about those days,
Yeah, those days are gone.
Those were the days. Those days are gone. However, we have electrical lights, but we have to learn to take time out. Nobody have time to do nothing. They watch, and they will tell, I got to go here. They're watching their phone. I got to go there. I got to do this. I have to do that. But we need to take time out to celebrate life.
No, you're right. I want to jump back, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
The frock that you mentioned, because you said something that I wasn't aware of, and that's because of how this dress was made, and they would sit down. And I always used to make a lot of jokes about Miss New. I don't know if you ever knew Miss New.
Of course I didn't know Miss New. She was my mother's friend.
Yeah. Miss New was living up street on Back Street, close to where I was living, but I was living
not too
further
far away.
up, right? Mm-hmm. And she would be just sitting there with her leg open and the
and for the frock
in between. Yeah.
That was the posture. That was the posture.
I thought it was just Miss New style.
No.
No, you're saying it was a cultural general thing around women wearing the frock.
Because remember, they were sitting on either a box, a rock, or a bucket.
Right.
Right? You had to stabilize your boomsy on these things. Your stability is in the legs.
Okay.
So if you want to be stable, like if I am going to, as a nurse, going to take care of a patient, the patient is coming down, I can't stand up straight with two legs closed. I have to spread a leg and have them slide on the other leg and get them flat on the ground. You understand? So this was the sitting position of our older women.
Right.
Culturally, back then. If you check the picture, you will see those ladies sitting. You never notice the lady at the market.
Yeah.
On the front side. Her leggings isn't closed.
Yeah.
Their legs are open and the frock and the apron is between.
It's amazing.
I don't know. That just hit me to say that, because it's an observation.
Yeah.
Over the years.
You're right. I didn't see that way. I always associated with Miss New, not knowing that it was bigger than that.
Yes, it's an expression of freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we study history and we study our behavior as a black people, we will observe certain things.
Yeah.
And you will say, hey, but why was that? I observe a lot of stuff because I was raised with my grandmother. I raised around a lot of old people in KB and Colby, and therefore I pick up a lot of things of the past, and now, I bring it into perspective, as to, why and how.
Wow, I learned something new today. Yeah, when you look at Simran today, you go to a function, everybody's on the phone now. Everybody's on the phone. They're
antisocial. Those phones have made us antisocial. Because if we are in a group and people are on their phone, automatically you find yourself looking at your phone too. Because whatever it is catching. And we need to try to really work on our behavior when we are together. We need to be conscious that we are a human being and we are together. Let us communicate. The biggest problem that there is in the world in general is communication. That word, it's there, but it is not active. People fail to communicate. For instance, I was on my way here. I thought I might have been late because of the bridge being closed.
Right.
What did I do?
You called.
I called because you expect me to be on time. Yeah. And I was fearing that I may not be on time because of the bridge. So I called. This is how people need to behave. Yeah. If you make an appointment, you're running late for whatever reason or something happened, call.
Yeah. They don't care.
It is so easy. You got the phone, just touch something and just call. We have to be conscious of communicating and how we do that, and that we should make that an order of the day.
Do you think that...
the order of the day. It should be.
But do you think that because of this widespread use of mobile devices now, even with children, that will have an effect on us down the road?
It have an effect, yes, on the way we socialize with each other. Of course, it's kind of a come in between. So it cut off that relationship that we should have in terms of socializing and communicating. But in another way, again, we're speaking about communication. It is one of those devices that you use to communicate. It's very easy to say, I can't make it. I'll be late. Say something. Someone send you a message asking you a question. You read it, but you don't answer. You don't reply. Yeah. That is really, something that is very insulting. Mm. Why?
Because you wouldn't want anyone to do it.
You wouldn't want anyone to do it, to you. So I try to tell people and to motivate those that I speak to most of the time. Yeah. Listen, communication is the most important thing in our existence. Please communicate. Let us communicate much better than we are doing. Let's work on it. Let's enhance that communication skill.
But looking back at St. Martin, when I was a little boy, very few people had a telephone.
We
didn't have a telephone.
We had none. We used to make them.
And using the empty can in the line.
With a card.
And then if you wanted to call your family, you had to go by Lance Radio. And you had to deposit $20 or whatever guilders, and you had to wait for your turn. And then you have an operator button in on your call telling you only got a minute to go. And you got to speed up. Look at it today. It's in your hand.
In your hand.
Anywhere you go, it's there with you.
It's amazing.
It's amazing what has happened.
Oh, it's amazing.
Right?
So, we thank God for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Most of all, that we have these type of, that man has been became so knowledgeable that they were able to create these devices that make our life more better, more modern, and we can reach out. I can stay here and speak to my children and grandchildren, miles and miles away. I can see them, honestly, you can't touch them, but you can see them, and that's important. You don't have to go at a lance radius, sit down and wait for your turn. And then in those days, you had a whole set of people from a different nationality there making a whole lot of noise, and and you fighting for their turn, who was first, who was last, and etc. We thank God for that.
Wow.
We thank God for that.
I think that this generation don't know what it was like in those days.
No, they don't. They really don't. But the thing is, it's interesting. What we need to do, make this a story time and really pass it on to our children and grandchildren. Pass it on to the next generation. Do not let it die. Where we were, where we come from, and where we are today. Past, present, and future. Yeah. That's what life is all about.
I meet some young people very frequently, and they said to me, I grew up watching you on TV. Mm-hmm. And some of them said to me, you know what? At home, you was required to watch Speaking of Everything. It wasn't like you got to. No, you had to stay and watch it. And I think I told you one time where the guy told me how he was angry with his parents and he hated me because of that. And then he met me one day in the bank and he came over to me. My wife was there and said, Earl Gibbs, I hated you, but I realized now I was wrong. You said a lot of things in your show that made a difference in my life. That was very, very touching. Today now it's different because in those days you only had LBC TV.
Yes.
So you couldn't turn off the channel. You had to watch that or watch nothing. Now today you got YouTube, Facebook,
all
Instagram,
kind of stuff.
You
don't know what to watch, and at the end they will still tell you, I even don't know what to watch on TV. I don't know what to watch anymore because there's too many channels. So you don't know really what to watch. It's not in the days of, I used to go by my uncle's house, first black and white TV, and watching Gunsmoke and Wild West.
Gunsmoke. I remember those were some of my favorite.
Those cowboy shows. But again, we have to be very appreciative of life and the goodness of God to us. For we have come a long way, and through it all we enjoy, but just remember the goodness of God towards us. This generation, the world. We get up this morning, I'm here. I don't hear one gunshot, not a boom outside. We are peaceful on this island, whereas other parts of the world right now as we speak, people are suffering, people are running, ducking, people are dying because of the wars that are taking place. Right now any war we have would be in a war with ourselves, but we seek around this time though to have our inner peace. And it is important that we find our inner peace during this Christmas season and give God thanks for his goodness towards us on this beautiful island.
Yeah, sometimes we don't realize.
We don't realize.
Yesterday I drove to Point Blanc and I was so impressed because there were many cruise ships in, and you could see hundreds of people walking along the road going down to the boardwalk, bumper to bumper traffic, but everyone was relaxed. And everyone, because what are you going to do? You can't go over the car, so you just take your time. But it was beautiful to see because many islands in the Caribbean don't have that, And I'm sure, I said to my white boy, those people in town can't tell me they didn't make any money yesterday. That was a lot of people.
A lot of people was in town. I was in town because I happened to want something at Divine. So I went up the front street, I went to Divine, and the amount of tourists that I saw walking front street, you know what I said? I stood there and I said, thank you, Jesus, for this blessing, because somebody is making $1 today. I give God thanks.
Yeah.
Because I know that $1 that is made, it will be circulating on this island. and we are all benefiting from it one way or the other. Because if nobody comes, I'm a pensioner. Nobody comes, there's no money. I won't get a pension, so I won't get paid. So for things, no matter how we look at life, we need to be of a grateful heart. We complain more than the grateful word that is coming forth from our mouth. We need to take our time and be thankful. Be more thankful to God for what He has done for us. We have life. We have the breath of life. And once you have life, there is hope. There's hope. So let us be more thankful for the goodness that is taking place. Forget about the negativity. It's going to be always there. We cannot please everybody. Nobody will ever be pleased. Jesus didn't please them. He couldn't. He pleased who accepted his sacrifice. He pleased them, but He couldn't force no one.
Yeah.
He didn't choose to force them. He said the choice is yours. So we have a free choice. But let's make the good of it.
Definitely. In fact, I saw a senior making the good of it yesterday, and I was surprised because he's quite up there in age, had a good job years ago, but he was driving Gypsy. And I said to myself, wow, I never thought in my lifetime I would see something like that. And I watched his face. He was happy to be out there doing something to make some money, And it's kind of touching in a way because at that age you shouldn't be doing that, but it's called survival, and that's what he was doing. And it shows you what we have become like in St. Martin do today. It's very, very difficult for some people.
Yes,
and they
it
still
is.
have to work hard in their senior years just to make an extra dollar.
That's right. And I must mention here, one of the seniors that I admire also are the group of seniors that are still working in the hotel industry.
Who's that?
A lot of them that are seniors.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Some of them are over 70. But they have to work because there is probably they never had a pension to come. And whatever they are getting is very small. So they find themselves like, I look at them and I said, wow, they have to work until they die.
But it's still good at least that the hotels give them a job.
Yes.
But most of the time they don't want to hire you after you're 35, 40.
But they work in housekeeping and maintenance and so forth. That's where they work. And we have to be grateful to these people that are working their heart out, their life away to make others comfortable.
Like you said that, I think I said this once before on my show, I don't know if it was with you. I was at Disney World about 12, 15 years ago. And I saw this elderly black man working.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He was 82 years old.
Wow.
And I spoke with him and I asked him, and the man just said, you know what? He never misses a day. He's always here working.
Wow.
And the good thing is that at least he was 82, but Disney gave him a chance to work and make a living because he couldn't make money anywhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about giving our seniors also a chance to, do something. And it's good for them is because they are not at home alone.
Right.
Because the organization that I'm involved with, Hearts United Holistic Care Foundation, also caring for the elderly, we see a lot of elderly persons that are lonely and they are not mobile anymore, so therefore they can't go out there and walk and move around. So we go to them and we take some of our youths to them, that our youths can keep their company and speak to them. They can express their cultural hobby in their hobbies, etc., etc., and make them feel that somebody cares.
Yeah. Because
when our seniors are left alone, they become mostly dement. Because nobody is there for them to communicate with. And that's why I mentioned communication as a factor, because it is important. It keeps you alive. It keeps the brain functioning and in gear. So therefore, we go to them. So it is very important, again, that we recognize our seniors and also look out for them.
Yeah.
And help them. Yesterday, I also was in a bank. And there is this digital new machine that they have that you have to read and then tick on where you're going. And I know that in this community there are people that really cannot read, whether they are from foreign and they don't understand English, or whether they are not able to read at all. They are not literal. So what I looked at and I said, I'm pointing to the security to help the senior, because they don't know where they're going, they can't read what's there. And then the gentleman said, yeah, they are not allowed. I said, well, if they are not allowed, then it's a bank responsibility to have someone standing by that machine to assist the elderly. Come on, where we going?
Well, they can call for someone to come assist.
But their customer service, there's no one standing, there's no one there because they believe they were over at the other location. So there's no one at customer service. I'm looking around and there's no one. Only they tell us, listen, we have to get our act together. We have to do better for our seniors. And I'm speaking out here on behalf of the seniors. The different places, they need to respect our seniors, whether it's the bank, whether it's GEB, that's another location again, where we going? Seniors either under the tent or seniors standing up, holding fast, and when until they get a turn to get inside, to get to sit on a chair. There should be a window that is saying for just for seniors.
Ms. Shimon, I'll tell you, right? GBE is a whole different ballgame for seniors. After the tax office, the most stressful thing is GB for many senior citizens. It's unfortunate. It shouldn't be like that.
Well, I will tell you, Mr. Gibbs, I'm really crying out on behalf of the seniors. For in 2025, they pay attention to us seniors, that we get respect and we get treated the way we should be treated. And it should be a demand, from the government to make certain regulations on behalf of our seniors. Yeah. It is really not a good thing. Not a good thing. And for those people out there that has a problem, we have a literacy program also that is starting in January at Heart United Holistic Care Foundation, where people can come and enhance their literacy. So they're learning to read and to write. We had this program, we had probably 2 or 3 graduations already, where those that could not read and write can now read and write.
Oh, that's great.
And it's free of charge. There's no charges to it at Heart United Holistic Care Foundation.
People are sometimes ashamed to...
We have to break that.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to be ashamed of. Let's say, for instance, if you're a Creole speaking person, you need to learn to read English. So you can read your language, but you need to learn to read English. Or if you're Spanish, you learn to read English, you're living in St. Martin. So I wouldn't say there's a shame. If you are speaking a local St. Martin, probably, and you never went to school, I must say, and you can't read and write, then that's a different story. Then that would be making you feel a little bad. But however, I think we have to break that about feeling bad and what people are going to say. Don't look at nobody, because in a class, nobody really knows anybody but themselves.
But I heard that there are many young people today that can't read and write.
We know that. Yeah, not going to school.
So that's going to be a problem down the road.
And this is something that they spoke about mandatory school attendance, but it's not happening. It's not happening. We have a lot of kids that is not in school. Yeah. And that is something, again, that should be worked on. Otherwise, we have a whole different generation of people that are just walking around and they can't read and write. And
but it never used to be like that.
It never used to be like that. But again, what causes that? You have a lot of illegal people and they make children, there's no documentation, and therefore they keep the children at home.
Well, the children have a right to go to school.
Exactly. Then they would tell you they need a uniform, so they don't have no money to buy no uniform, they don't have money to buy shoes for the children, and the children are at home. Mm-hmm. But then some of them, when I look at them, I'm wondering, you can't buy the child uniform, but you have on nails, you have in weave. You have an expensive phone. But the children hungry, the children are not in school, and you're complaining that you don't have any money, you don't have any uniform. The next thing is, we as a people, we need to get our priorities straight. Exactly. Line up your ducks in order. Yeah. Education is important.
I think too many people now put the priority on themselves and not their children.
This is where, exactly, Mr. Gibbs. It's about themselves, and they forget these children that they are responsible for. You make the children, you are responsible for them. You are responsible for their education. You are responsible for their total upbringing. And that's why we have these children around on motorbikes up and down the place robbing people.
They make the children, but they want the government to take
They want the government. You make them, you enjoy it with whatever way, and you bring them forth, and now you want the government and society to be responsible for raising your children. It don't work like that.
I gotta go to a break, Bishop. In case you just joined us, I'm Earl Gibson. I'm speaking about everything on YouTube, Facebook, and on Hot 99.9 FM radio. My guest is Christmas. That's right. Her name is Miss Maria Shimon, born on Christmas Day. Remember that. You can never forget that. And her nickname is Christmas. So when we come back, we're gonna continue with Christmas right here on Speaking About Everything on Hot 99.9 FM radio. Right back. My guest on Speaking of Everything is Christmas, Miss Maria Shimon. Christmas because she was born on Christmas Day, the same day of Jesus. Look at that. You didn't expect
Many
me to say
years
that.
ago. Thank God for life.
Yeah. We all look forward as Christians to Christmas. And one of the things that sometimes I don't like to see, I don't know how you feel about that, it's Christmas, not Xmas. I just don't like seeing this Xmas thing.
I don't use it because it's not Christmas Christian-like. For me, what does that X mean? X out something, then you X out Christ. And Christ is in Christmas.
Exactly.
So I don't go along with that. And people need to be conscious of certain things, but then everybody have their belief. You know, everybody, we can't force people. They think their thoughts are different, but we as a people and as St. Martin people, I must say, let us continue to maintain our Christian behavior and thoughts. Let us be able to express that positively the way it should, or the way that we were taught.
Right.
And don't let outside forces change that. We should not adjust to outside forces. We need to try to work and maintain the way that we were taught, our upbringing in that Christian faith. Keep Christ into Christmas.
Definitely. Every year for Christmas, we all look forward to cakes. In St. Martin, they have this black cake thing it's called. Or
Black
fruit cake. What kind of
probably,
cake?
yeah.
What's the most popular cake for Christmas time?
Well, I grew up knowing pound cake.
Pound cake?
Pound cake, which is a normal pound,
Yeah,
the
I
yellow
like
cake,
that, a simple
pound cake.
cake.
It has a simple cake. We know that.
But a lot of people used to make this cake. There's a lot of fruits and nuts and black
I
cake.
know that kind of a cake, but that's a Christmas cake. And
That's what I mean for Christmas.
stay sure.
Yeah.
But I don't recall it being a part of us here on St. Martin. I know the pound cake, the potato pudding,
Yeah.
and the tarts.
Tarts. Well, okay, let me tell you about the cake box. Genius. The man, I call him the cake
You
boss.
call him, boy.
Yes. Well, people are rushing over to make the orders for the holidays because you can
Wow.
get all the different cakes, tarts, pudding, you name it, you get it at the cake box. So I don't know which one you like, tart, pudding, cake, which one you like.
Well, to tell you the truth, I have to limit my sugar intake.
So you can take a little
So
bite.
I have to just take a little piece or just share it with my friends and take none at all, because at the end of the Christmas season, I don't want to be sick.
But you're a registered nurse by profession.
Yes, I am.
Isn't there a cake that diabetics can have?
Well, I know about the eggless cake.
Yeah.
but I am not too sure about the cake without sugar in it. I don't know, and that'll be a different something.
You could always reduce the sugar, right?
I don't know. Depend on the ingredients, you know. However, a little piece of nothing
Can't kill, right?
don't kill.
All right, so
We have to just know our limit, and I know mine, so I work with that, you know.
that's good. But anyway, there's a telephone number you can call. That's 5812171. That's 5812171. The cake box. You'll get all the cakes, all the puddings, all the pies, all the tarts, whatever you want for Christmas or for any occasion. Genius, the cake boss at the cake box at 5812171. He'll make it for you. Right, Mary?
That's right. I know Genius very well. We all grew up in Colby together.
Right. Again, are you Colby people?
Colby people again. He's doing a great job.
He's a really nice guy.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So a piece of fresh pork.
Oh, that's Christmas.
Okay. See, I got you there.
That's Christmas.
I remember as a little boy, man.
That pork stewed on.
Boy.
And there were the bread beans and rice or pigeon peas and rice. That goes down well. Lot of sauce.
But you know the thing is, a piece of fresh pork is different when the pork is from St. Martin.
Yeah, fresh. We used to butcher the pigs for Christmas. Twice a year. It was Christmas and Easter. That they would butcher pigs and have the pork, stew pork, meat, and peas and rice. Because we didn't have mashed potatoes in those days. It was peas and rice.
Wow. I can still picture it. I can still remember that piece of roast pork Christmas, man.
It was always tasty. It was always good. And I have always enjoyed it. And for some reason, I used to like the pork skin, even if it was...
that was the best part.
I used to like the pork skin, you know, as children. But I wouldn't do it now. But back then, it was,
Wow.
We used to everybody fighting to get his piece of pork skin.
Yeah.
You know?
In those days, there was no turkey. Not as prevalent like today.
No, we didn't have no turkey business. Turkey, again, it came with all the prosperity of St. Martin. That people, you know, import turkey, frozen turkey and stuff like that. I think that there was probably one person in St. Martin that, or two persons that had turkeys, live turkeys, you know, like how they would have fought, but it was very few. And we were more about the chicken, and we never used to say chicken either, fowl. Granny used to say, throw the corn and catch that fowl there. And our fowls had names, red hen and yellow hen and, you know.
I couldn't kill a chicken in no way.
Oh, when they taught us, they ring the neck, you know, and we did that.
Yeah.
But those were the days. But mostly for Christmas, we had a pork.
Yeah, and you know, it's amazing because those chicken that grew up in the yard.
Yes.
It's different than the chicken that come from abroad.
The bone was very hard. That chicken bone you could not crush under your teeth.
It was hard, eh?
It was hard, very, very hard. So you wouldn't even try it, you know. But it stood on. They ain't had no oven to bake no chicken. There was nothing like baking chicken. Chicken was just stewed, you know, in the pot.
Yeah.
There was nothing named baking chicken in the oven back in my day. I didn't know nothing about that.
A lot of things was done roasting a pot outside with fire and different things. Yeah. I
can't recall that. I know about it being stewed, you know, in all honesty. Because sometimes people, you know, now that they are big and they're glamorous and, you know, they're living, you know, up life, sometimes they fail to want to even give the thought as to how it used to be eating the chicken that was running in the yard. You know,
I don't see nothing wrong with that.
I don't see nothing. To tell you the truth, Mr. You know what happened? I am very proud to know where I was, where I've come from, and where I am today. And that makes me the person that I'm so thankful to God for the experience of life as to where I came from, the difficult times of life, the hardships of life, and how we can overcome if we have faith in God. Because it's God's goodness again that have brought me to where I am. You know, and so his same faithfulness, it is never failing. You know, he's a faithful God. So I thank him. I thank my God for his mercies that are new every morning is why I can sit here this morning, because his mercies have brought me here. And thus far, I will be 70 on that day.
Right.
God's willing.
Yeah.
God spare my life. And I'm grateful.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling fine. And I thank God for life. And that I'm able to reach out to others in many ways. Not only about sharing, but also about caring and being able to express verbally some words that will encourage and motivate others. Not only today, but throughout the year, this is what I do. And if it's not here, it's wherever I travel. Because I was away for 4 months, almost 5 months, by my family. And therefore, I was able to share where I was. So I always encourage people, grow where God planted you. If you come from foreign and you're living in St. Martin and you're planted here, grow. Be nurtured by the Spirit and the grace of God and grow. And when you produce, share. And that is love. Share, care, and share with others, and especially during the Christmas time.
You know, I've told you this a million times. I wish we had a lot of people like you. Because if we had a lot of people like you, oh man, Simran would be heaven on earth.
Well, we are all different.
You know?
We are all created in God's image. However, we have our own minds and our own hearts and our own thoughts. And sometimes it depends on how we express it also and how we act. Because again, it is your action speaks also louder than your words. So we can say things, but if we don't do them, it's still dead. We need to act as we speak. You know? So I encourage our people in St. Martin, during the Christmas season, the holiday season, don't forget the Christ that is in Christmas. Very important that we keep close to him. We are living in changing times. Lots of things are happening, pleasant and unpleasant. We have new government in place. Pray for them. Ask God to guide them. Don't be too critical unless it's positive. Criticism is also good. But let's not break people. You know, let us help to build each other in this society, because we all live here. And if we don't have anywhere to go, we're going to stay right here unless we go 4 feet, or as a minister saying, it's 4 feet now. You know, but whatever the choice are of our disposal, because we can't stay here, let us love each other as long as we have the breath of life. Let us care, let us share. And if we don't have a word to say that is going to build somebody, we as a black people, we need to build each other, we need to encourage each other, and we also have to try to take the good out of what is happening. If something is happening, everything is not going to be the way we want it to be, but as if it's try to find the good in it. Because with that type of growth and that type of positiveness in the mind, it can bring a change.
We also have to be, like you said, grateful, because the other day I was watching the news and I stopped watching the news.
I can imagine that.
Because it's too depressing.
Very much so.
And I saw this little girl in Gaza. And the reporter stopped her. She was running with a little bowl. And she had rice in it. And she was happy. She said because it's the first time they've had rice in over a week. And she was so happy and grateful for that. And I look at myself. I look at this island where we live, and we have so much, and still we are unhappy.
We are not satisfied. So true, so true. If we were more contented in this life, we'd be happier, we'd be healthier also. Because sometimes our health is also based on us not being contented with what we have. You mentioned a child with a bowl of food, for instance. We want to have a mountain of food, a lot of rice, plenty of meat. Right now it's Christmas, it's ham, it's turkey. But at the end of the day, all of this food still, it affects our health. Because we were not contented. You know, we want to eat more and drink more and eat more, and at the end of the day, it messes up our health. Christmas gone, and New Year's find some of us in the hospital. High blood pressure, sugar gone out of whack.
And that come from eating.
And because of us overeating, because we saw, we had, you go by this person, you eat. You go by that person. This is how we do it, unconsciously. So, as a nurse, I would say, let us also be careful with all the goodies that are going around, all the ham and all the turkey. Be careful of how we are overeating, and it would affect our health for the coming year. Let's go easy on it and be contented also with what we have. And if it's too much for you, please share it with your neighbor, because sometimes, because of selfishness, people do certain things they don't want to share. So let us remember your neighbor, remember a person in need in the neighborhood. Probably if you have too much you got for Christmas, for the New Year, put it in a little basket or a little box or whatever, and you can still, for the New Year, bring it to someone that is in need.
I was smiling when you were speaking, because I went to a function, and all these people pull out file papers from their bag. And
I know about that.
They packed their food.
Jesus.
So what happened was, there was no food left for everyone at the function. And I was surprised and I was embarrassed. Because I've never seen anything like that. Is that what St. Martin is coming to?
Exactly. No behavior.
But they didn't realize what they were doing, I think.
It's no behavior.
They just want to carry
I have seen that many times.
Yeah? Wow.
Many times. It's like, you come and you got to go with food in your bag and plastic sack and foil paper. Listen here, we have to learn to behave, because when we have functions, when food leave over, what we do is we take the food to the different homes that have children, the orphanage, etc. And we have also the one there, not too close, it's very close to my house, and where the men's are not turning point, Mr. Adamus.
Okay.
And we take the food. Don't mess with it. We're gonna take this food. I said I'm taking this food to these folks. Nobody going with bag and no, don't do that. There are people in our community that really will appreciate having a nice lunch the following day.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, if the host offer you something to go with, fine. But you don't pull out all these foil papers.
I know. I've seen it. Yes, indeed.
And it was a wedding. So it was really, really embarrassing. And at the hotel.
Yep.
So I think we need to be more thoughtful of our behavior.
That's one of the things. Again, it's about etiquette, and our people need to be aware of that, as you mentioned. And please don't embarrass yourself. So we need to be careful of those things.
What about, guava berry is something that is traditional in St. Martin. I never liked it as a St. Martin. As I got older, I would take a sip of it, but it's not something that I like. A friend gave me 2 bottles of concentrated guava berry.
Wow.
It's almost 30 years old now, and it's amazing. Last year I gave a little bit to someone. But that's a tradition that we have in St. Martin, guava berry. And this bottle of guava berry still have the berries inside of it.
You're correct.
With sticks of cinnamon. I didn't realize they used to put cinnamon too in it.
Yes.
And, it's amazing. But besides the guava berry, there's another drink to that we have for Christmas, right?
Well, we have many drinks.
Really?
Pomsfret punch, yes, it's also a Christmas drink.
Okay.
Local, the pomsfret punch. And if we go at the guava berry factory in Colombia, you will see that there are many local drinks are produced there. Lime punch, is one of them. Gooseberry punch. And all of those are from our local fruits.
There's one called sorrel or something like that.
Sorrel also. My grandmother had a field of sorrel when I was small. We had to pick those sorrel, and she would boil and make this liquor and make this drink and this juice, And now it's back again. But sorrel is also one of our local drinks.
Wow.
The ginger.
Oh, ginger.
Also,
Yeah, that's
the
nice.
ginger is very nice, and ginger is very good for the cough and stuff like that. Also,
You ever had ginger that's grown in St. Martin?
we
it's
grow
nice.
ginger in the yard.
Yeah, it's very
Fresh
easy.
ginger.
Really nice.
Yes, very very nice. So we do have beside the guava, but the guava berry is what makes us famous. We have always had the guava berry. It's part of our culture, and I didn't even realize that they were yellow guava berry until I visited the factory by Mr. Maku, and I saw barrels of yellow guava berry, and I was like, oh, guava berry, they have yellow ones too? And it was like, yes.
You were surprised, huh?
I was surprised, really surprised. But that is a place to visit on a tour.
Yeah.
And again, these are places that, need to sell these type of tours also to cruise ships. That when people come, they can visit the factory itself,
See how it's done.
and see how it's operated. A beautiful place, huge, barrels and barrels of guava berry for the process, soaking and stuff like that, and the different punches, coconut punch, and you name it, guava berry punch, and all of those different liqueurs are locally made. Good production, God bless them, and we should be proud of what we have locally, and talk more about it, advertise it more. I mean, it's highly advertised, but we can big it up a little more what we have.
I wasn't even aware of it, tell you the truth, that was like that. But then again, maybe they should advertise with us here on the radio and TV.
But you probably should visit,
Yeah.
Make an appointment. They have numbers, you call, make an appointment, and you can go with a group and visit the guava berry factory. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing, the production.
So what you plan for Christmas?
The normal thing, I would always cook my pea soup on Christmas.
Pea soup.
I cook pea soup on Christmas.
You don't put no meat in it?
Well, yes, I do.
What kind of meat you put in it?
For everyone, not everybody eating pork anymore, pigtails and stuff. So what I use a smoked turkey neck.
Smoked turkey neck.
And it flavors the soup.
Okay.
So I uses that as the meat in my pea soup.
That's nice.
Yes, it's different. Because the pigtail, the salt and all of those things, and some people don't eat the pork. So when you come and me, you can eat it because it's turkey, smoked turkey neck.
That's
it's
nice,
made from.
It's always a pleasure having the show. I want to, from my wife and I,
Wow.
want to present you this.
Oh.
I think you're
Thank
amazing.
you
Yes,
very
always
much.
nice having you.
Look at me. That's my birthday gift. Thank you, Mr. Gibbs and
Welcome.
Mrs. Gibbs. I appreciate this welcoming gift, of course, and you all are dear to my heart. I love you all, and I thank you for having me on your program. Whichever time of the year that it is, especially at Christmas time. I missed it last year, but I'm here, and I thank God for that. So, Merry Christmas to you and your family. God continue to bless you, and God continue to bless our people. Bless St. Martin, and let us continue to keep the Christ in Christmas.
Definitely. And Merry Christmas to you.
And Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas again to you. Thank you. All the best. You are an amazing person. All my viewing audience and listening audience love you. They tell me they can't get enough of you. So it's always good to have you.
Thanks to the audience out there. Wishing you all a blessed and wonderful Christmas and a safe and prosperous, healthy 2025 by the grace of God.
Thanks. And that's it for now. We're going to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. All the best to you and your family. Thank you all for watching during 2024 and listening in 2024. And we'll continue in 2025 on YouTube, Facebook, and on Hot 99.9 FM radio. See you next time. Take care. Bye.